Santiago,
Yes,
how are you today?
pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing good. I don't have the jail on yet. Have you talked to them this morning?
I did.
Okay. And they have the Zoom link and everything?
I talked to him about the plea paperwork. I have not
Oh, we
sent,
have the plea paperwork. We do have the plea paperwork.
I didn't know I needed to send the jail the Zoom link.
Well, they received it, but since it's your client, if you would just give them a call and tell them that they need to get on by 9:30.
Okay. All right, let me give him a call then.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room.
All right, appreciate it.
Santiago, I just wanted to check, did you need an interpreter?
Not that I know of,
Okay,
but possibly.
we'll see how he does. What does he speak?
I need to visit with him briefly and ask him that.
Oh, okay. You want me to put him in a waiting room? I mean, in a breakout room?
Yeah, if you don't mind, real quick.
Sure. Is anybody there in the Moore County Jail? Well, they're not turning their camera on. Do you see a button there to unmute yourself, sir?
There should be a red icon, Medusa, for the microphone.
Yeah, good.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me put y'all in a breakout room right quick, Santiago. Mr. Balderrama?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so are we okay to go?
If there's any chance that you have a Swahili interpreter, that would be preferred, but he does speak English, but he asked if he doesn't understand something for me to explain it to him in detail.
Okay, well, if he has any questions, I'll let the judge talk to him about it, but we do not have one available. I've tried before to get one, and I would have to go through a service, which can be done if it needs to be done, but probably wouldn't happen this morning.
Okay.
What's your preference? You want to move forward, or?
No, he wants to move forward today. And if he doesn't understand, I'll just do my best to explain to him. And if we have an issue, then we'll reset it.
Okay. Are you Mr. Mugisho Mendoza?
Yes,
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
The court will now call case number 6363 and 6469. Both of these are styled the State of Texas versus Mugisho Mendoza. Is the state ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
And is defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor, but I do have a short statement to say before the proceeding.
All right, go ahead.
My client has been in custody since September of 2022 on this charge. We have been trying to negotiate with the prosecutor's office to try to save his immigration status. However, today, both of these charges will likely result in his deportation. The lack of the prosecutor's office to consider the collateral consequences of deportation is just appalling in this case. But we're moving forward today because this is the best resolution. We've been working for months trying to get a plea offer of probation. And although this one today is not ideal, it will allow him out today. And so that's why we're asking to proceed. I'm embarrassed to be part of this plea today, and I don't appreciate it. But unfortunately, that is the best we can do out of this office. And I don't appreciate what Moore County Prosecutor's Office is doing to my client today. And we are moving forward today despite that, because it will result in his freedom today to start his deportation process.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Balderrama. We'll proceed with this hearing. Sir, for the record, are you Mugisho Mendoza?
Yes,
Mr. Mendoza, in cause number 6363, you have been charged with evading arrest with a motor vehicle. That is a third-degree felony. It's punishable by imprisonment for a term not to exceed or not more than 10 years and not less than 2 years. Also, the court can assess a fine not more than $10,000. In case number 6469, you have been charged with failure to appear. That is a third-degree felony. It has the same range of punishment, imprisonment for between 2 and 10 years and up to a $10,000 fine. You have been charged with both of these by a document called an indictment. Do you want that indictment read to you now, or do you understand it?
I don't really understand it. Maybe my attorney can explain to me in detail.
She's asking the indictment of the offense that you did, if you want it read to you out loud in court, or that you understand the charges against you.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
All right. Mr. Mendoza, your attorney has already stated this, but I understand you are not a U.S. citizen. Is that right?
Yes,
And you understand that if you plead guilty, this may result in your deportation.
yes, ma'am.
Then I will ask you how you plead first to the charge of evading arrest with a motor vehicle. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And to the charge of failure to appear, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty on these charges because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Um, can my attorney explain to me a little bit in detail? Maybe I don't understand it.
They're asking if you're pleading guilty because you are guilty of this crime and for no other reason that you committed these offenses. Of course, you're pleading guilty because there's other considerations like getting out, but are you pleading guilty because you actually did these crimes?
Yes,
Yes.
And I know you are getting a plea agreement, but other than that, were you pressured or do you feel like you were forced to do this plea for any reason other than the agreement for probation?
yeah, go back to Tony, please.
Okay, let me say that a different way.
Okay,
I know that you have reached an agreement with the district attorney's office about and the deal was if you plead guilty, you will get probation. Is that correct?
yes,
That's your understanding?
I understand.
But other than that, do you feel like you were forced to plead guilty? Like, did someone threaten you with something to get you to plead guilty?
Someone don't force me. Nobody forced me.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mudosa, I have in both of these cases a long document called and it's I'll give you the long name. It's felony plea of guilty, waiver, stipulation, and judicial confession. And in this document, you tell the court that you are pleading guilty. You are waiving certain rights, such as the right to a trial by jury. You could have had a trial by jury in this case. And you are telling me that you understand everything in this very lengthy document. And on both of these, it looks like you have signed it. Is that your signature on these documents?
I can't see it over here. It's kind of far from me.
Okay, I'm gonna have my court reporter show you. That's the first one.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, and this is the second one.
Yes, that's me.
All right. Did you go over this document with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you sign it voluntarily and freely?
yes,
I'm going to acknowledge your signature based on what you have just told me. And Mr. Mudosa, by signing these, are you telling me that you understand everything in these documents?
yes, I understand.
And do you believe you know the consequences or the result of pleading guilty today?
Yes, I understand.
Mr. Balderrama, have you consulted with your client and advised him of his rights?
I have, Your Honor.
Do you believe him to be mentally competent?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And do you approve of him signing these stipulations before the court today?
I do, Your Honor.
And does the state concur, Mr. Marable?
State concurs, Your Honor.
In that case, Mr. Mudosa, I am approving the stipulations in case number 6363 and 6469, and I will enter them into the court's record as State Exhibit number 1. Mr. Marable, is there a plea agreement in this case?
There is, Your Honor. In exchange for his plea of guilt in both cases, state recommends the defendant be confined in the TDCJ institutional division for a period of 10 years, but that such sentence be suspended and probated for a period of 3 years, that the defendant be placed on community supervision and pay a fine of $1,500.
Mr. Mudosa, you've heard the district attorney's office announce an agreement. Is that the agreement that you reached?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you concur, Mr. Balderrama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mudosa, I will follow the recommendation of the district attorney's office, and I will sentence you in both of these cases, 6363 and 6469, to 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Correctional Institutions Division. However, I will suspend your confinement or your imprisonment, and instead I will place you on probation for a period of 3 years. And I will order you in both cases to pay a $1,500 fine. Mr. Mudosa, during this 3-year period, should you remain here in the U.S., you will be required to follow all of the rules of probation. And before you leave the jail, a probation officer will meet with you and will explain those rules to you. Do you have any questions about this judgment?
The only question I have for now is because I don't have anybody around here, so I don't have no place to live here. So I would like my kids to be moved to Amarillo. That way I have my brother who live there, so I can live with him.
You can talk to probation the officer after the court hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, the probation does that often. I do not think that will be a problem.
Okay.
Mr. Mudosa, have you been satisfied or have you been happy with your representation with your attorney, Mr. Santiago Balderrama?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he done everything that you asked him to do?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Mudosa, this hearing will be adjourned, and I'm going to say best wishes to you from this point forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Audrey,
Yes.
I will email the judgment to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And we have another hearing.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you. You're welcome.
May I be excused,
Thanks,
Your Honor?
You may be.
I-
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was a little quick on the trigger there, Santiago. Bye. Okay. We'll be right back again.
Sounds good.
Have you on the screen here.
There's the prosecutor is on that camera, so you need to stand where you can see him.
Okay, maybe we don't.
Yeah. Okay, I see that, I guess, Mr. And can you say your name? Tim Ben?
The DUC is his middle name.
Okay, so it's P-H-I-N is this, P-H-I-N-H, correct?
Yes.
And then Duck is middle name and Tan is the last name. Court will now call case number 6063, State of Texas versus Tim Duck. The state ready to proceed?
State is ready, Your Honor. Just for the record, I believe in this case, he's been indicted under an incorrect spelling of his name. I would just ask for the record that it be, that he spell it out correctly.
All right, sir, can you spell your first name for us
T-H-I-N-H
and your middle name
D-U-C
and your last name?
T-H-A-N.
All right, thank you. And is defense ready to proceed?
Andrew Spoon for the defense, ready, Your Honor.
All right.
May I make a note, Your Honor, that Mr. Holmes is no longer with our law firm, and we are still getting to the designated counsel. There are numerous ones, and we apologize. But I am here nonetheless.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Tan, you have been charged in case number 6063 with possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 1. That's a third-degree felony, punishable by imprisonment in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for not more than 10 years or less than 2 years. In addition, the court can assess a fine not to exceed $10,000. You have been charged with this by indictment. Do you want that indictment read to you, or do you waive the reading of that indictment? And your name, Tim Duck Tan, not correctly stated in the indictment, but your correct name is Tim Duck Tan. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Tan, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Then I'm going to ask you how you plead to this charge, guilty or not guilty. Are you pleading guilty, aside from a plea agreement, are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason? Has anyone threatened you or coerced you or promised you something other than this plea deal to plead guilty? All right, Mr. Tan, I have in front of me a document called a felony plea of guilty waiver stipulation and judicial confession. In this document, you plead guilty, waive certain rights, such as the right to a trial by jury, and you stipulate or you agree that all of the evidence the state has against you is true. Is this your signature on the document?
Yes, it is.
All right. Did you go over this document with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign this document voluntarily and freely?
Yes.
Acknowledge your signature on this document. And when you went over this document with your attorney, do you believe you understood everything in the document?
Yes.
And do you believe you understand the consequences of pleading guilty here today?
Yes.
Mr. Spoon, have you consulted with your client and advised him of his rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe him to be mentally competent?
I do.
And do you approve of him signing this stipulation before the court today?
I do.
Mr. Marable, do you concur in the signing of these stipulations?
State concurs, Your Honor.
Mr. Tan, I will approve these stipulations and I will enter them into the court's record as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Marable, is there a plea agreement in this case?
There is, Your Honor. In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilt, state recommends that a finding of guilt be deferred for a period of 4 years, that the defendant pay a fine of $1,500 and $180 restitution to the Texas Department of Public Safety.
That was defense understanding.
Mr. Tan, I will follow the recommendation of the district attorney's office, and I will defer any finding of guilt at this time. And instead, I'm going to place you on deferred adjudication, which is also known as probation, for a period of 4 years in order that you pay a $1,500 fine. Now, during this 4-year period, it's very important that you follow the terms, the conditions, the rules of probation. If you do not, then the court has the discretion to come back and sentence you to anything up to the full 10 years imprisonment. Let's see, Audrey, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
How would you like to meet with Mr. Tan?
If you
You
can come
want
to
him
the
to-
office, please.
Right. Mr. Spoon, do you know where the probation office is? Okay.
In, Bar, real quick, we hadn't addressed, he is a resident of the state of Colorado. If the court needs to approve that transfer, I'd like to ask that now.
Audrey, you normally don't have any problems transferring these to Colorado, is that correct?
As long as he's been there more than 2 years, he should be able to qualify.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Audrey, can you meet with him this morning?
Once he's done there, he can head here and we'll get him processed.
Okay. Then, Mr. Tan, I'm going to order you to head over to the probation office. It is 10 o'clock. Is there any reason you can't be there by 11? Okay. Otherwise, because I've had this unfortunately happen, if you don't show up, we'll issue a warrant for your arrest.
I'll go over that.
Okay, thank you. And again, she will go over all of the terms and conditions with you. It sounds like you'll be supervised out of Colorado. There's also a $180 restitution fee payable to the Department of Public Safety for testing the cocaine. Do you have any questions about this? Right, sir, have you been satisfied with your representation by Mr. Spoon? Has he done everything that you asked him to do? All right. Mr. Tan, I need your fingerprints on this. Best wishes to you. I know it is hard once you are on drugs to stay off. Of course, you will have to do that, okay? Okay, thank you.
Judge,
Thank you, Ms. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Could he come in before 11? Like right away?
Can you come in 10:30? He says he's heading there right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Then, I'd just like to give him a deadline, Audrey, because you know we've had people fail to make that block. Okay.